Have you ever wondered what happens when a younger man falls deeply, genuinely in love with an older woman? Not just attraction, not just fascination, but real transformative love that changes everything about how he sees his future. Today, we're diving deep into the psychology of these relationships to reveal the 7 unmistakable signs that show when a man is truly, deeply in love with an older woman. These aren't just surface-level behaviors. These are profound shifts in his mindset, his priorities, and his entire approach to life that only happen when he's found someone he considers to be his true partner. Whether you're an older woman trying to understand if his feelings are genuine, or you're simply curious about the unique dynamics of these relationships, what you're about to discover will give you unprecedented insight into the male mind when it comes to love that transcends age. But before we begin, something crucial. When a man truly falls for an older woman, his behavior becomes distinctly different from typical dating patterns. The changes we're about to explore don't happen with casual relationships or fleeting attractions. They only emerge when he's encountered something rare, a connection so powerful that age becomes completely irrelevant. So if you're ready to understand the deep psychology behind these relationships and discover what men really do when they've found their person in an older woman, let's dive in. Number 1. He stops hiding the relationship and proudly introduces her to EVRYO. Either a first unmistakable sign that a man is deeply in love with an older woman is that he completely abandons any secrecy or hesitation about the relationship. This is huge, and here's why. In the early stages of dating an older woman, many men might feel uncertain about how others will perceive the relationship. Society often has opinions about age gaps, especially when the woman is older. But when a man falls deeply in love, something profound shifts in his mindset. He stops caring about external judgment because his internal conviction becomes unshakable. He's not just dating her, he's found his person, and he wants the world to know it. You'll notice he starts introducing her to his friends, his family, his colleagues. Not with awkwardness or explanation, but with genuine pride and confidence. This isn't about proving anything to anyone. It's about the fact that when you've found someone who completes you, hiding that relationship becomes emotionally impossible. He wants to share his happiness, and more importantly, he wants to integrate her into every aspect of his life. Watch for this. A man who's deeply in love will not only introduce her publicly, but will also speak about her with a specific kind of reverence. He'll mention her wisdom, her experience, her perspective, all the qualities that come with her maturity, as things he genuinely values and admires, not as novelties or curiosities. Number 2, he actively seeks her advice and values her. WISDOM, the second sign, reveals something beautiful about mature love. He doesn't just appreciate her experience intellectually, he actively seeks it out and relies on it in his decision-making process. This goes far beyond the typical dynamic, where someone might ask for advice occasionally. When a man is deeply in love with an older woman, he recognizes that her years of experience represent genuine wisdom, and he wants to benefit from that wisdom in his own life. You'll see him consulting her about career decisions, asking for her perspective on personal challenges, and genuinely considering her input when making important life choices. This isn't about dependence. It's about recognizing that she brings something invaluable to his life, a perspective that only comes with time and experience. What makes this particularly telling is that many younger people, especially men, can sometimes struggle with pride when it comes to taking advice from others. But when a man is truly in love with an older woman, pride dissolves because he sees her guidance not as a threat to his independence, but as a gift that makes him better. He'll often say things like, "She helped me see this differently," or "Her experience with this situation was exactly what I needed to hear." He's not just acknowledging her input, he's crediting her with helping him grow and improve as a person. This sign is particularly powerful because it shows that his love for her includes deep respect for who she is as a complete person, not just attraction to her physical or emotional qualities. Number 3. He makes long-term plans that account for her life's steep. Here's where things get really serious. And this sign is perhaps one of the most telling indicators of genuine, deep love. When a man is truly committed to an older woman, he doesn't just plan for a future together. He plans for a future that realistically accounts for where she is in her life journey. This is significant because it requires a level of maturity and thoughtfulness that goes beyond typical relationship planning. He's not living in a fantasy where age differences don't matter. He's embracing the reality of those differences and building a life plan that honors both of their needs and circumstances. For example, she's already established in her career or approaching retirement, he'll factor that into his own career planning. If she has children from previous relationships, he'll not only accept that reality, but actively work to build positive relationships with them and include them in future plans. You might see him making decisions about where to live based on her existing commitments or adjusting his timeline for major life events to align with her preferences and circumstances. This isn't sacrifice. It's the natural result of genuinely wanting to build a life together rather than expecting her to fit into his existing life plan. What's particularly beautiful about this sign is that it reveals emotional maturity that many people never develop. He's demonstrating that his love for her is comprehensive. It includes love for her complete life situation, not just the parts that are convenient or exciting. This planning often extends to practical considerations too. You might start thinking about financial planning that accounts for their different career stages, or health considerations that come with their age difference. These aren't romantic gestures, but they're profound indicators of someone who's planning for a real, lasting partnership. Number 4. He develops emotional maturity at an accelerated pace. One of the most fascinating aspects of these relationships is how they can catalyze personal growth in the younger partner. When a man is deeply in love with an older woman, you'll often see him develop emotional maturity much more rapidly than his peers. This happens for several reasons. First, to maintain a meaningful relationship with someone who has more life experience, he naturally has to step up his emotional game. The typical communication patterns and relationship approaches that might work with someone his own age often aren't sufficient for building something meaningful with someone who's been through more of life's experiences. Second, he's exposed to a different perspective on life priorities, relationship dynamics, and emotional intelligence through his daily interactions with her. It's like having a master class in emotional maturity built into his most important relationship. You'll notice this in several ways. He becomes better at communicating his feelings directly rather than expecting her to guess what he's thinking. He develops patience for working through conflicts rather than avoiding them or escalating them. He starts thinking about relationships in terms of partnership and mutual support rather than just excitement and attraction. Friends and family often notice this change. They might comment that he seems more settled, more thoughtful, or more confident in his decision-making. This isn't about her changing him. It's about him rising to meet the standard of emotional maturity that a meaningful relationship with her requires. This accelerated growth often becomes self-reinforcing. As he becomes more emotionally mature, the relationship deepens, which motivates further growth. It's a beautiful cycle that often results in him becoming the best version of himself. Number 5. He becomes genuinely protective without being possessives. There's a distinct difference between possessiveness and genuine protectiveness. And when a man is deeply in love with an older woman, he develops the latter in a very specific way. This protectiveness isn't about thinking she can't take care of herself. Older women have typically proven their independence and capability many times over. Instead, it's about wanting to add value to her life and ensure that his presence makes things easier, not more complicated. You'll see this in how he handles situations where others might be dismissive or disrespectful toward their relationship. He doesn't get defensive or aggressive, but he does make it clear that he won't tolerate disrespect toward her or their relationship. His response comes from a place of deep respect for her and genuine commitment to their partnership. This protectiveness also shows up in smaller, daily ways. He might take on tasks or responsibilities that make her life more pleasant, not because he thinks she needs him to, but because he wants to contribute to her well-being. He becomes attuned to her needs and circumstances in a way that allows him to offer support before it's even requested. What makes this particularly meaningful is that it's not about ego or control. It's about genuine care. He's not trying to prove his masculinity or dominance. He's simply expressing love through actions that demonstrate his commitment to her happiness and comfort. This type of protectiveness is actually quite mature because it requires him to balance his desire to care for her with respect for her independence and autonomy. It's protective without being patronizing, caring without being controlling. Number 6. He stops engaging with age-appropriate social scenes that don't include HER. This sign is subtle, but incredibly telling. When a man is deeply in love with an older woman, his social priorities naturally shift to align with their relationship, rather than maintaining separate social worlds. This doesn't mean he gives up his friends or his individual interests. Instead, it means that activities and social scenes that are specifically geared toward his age, group but would exclude her or make her uncomfortable naturally become less appealing to him. For example, he might find himself less interested in typical young adult social activities like bar crawling, casual dating scenes, or events where the age dynamic would be awkward for her. This isn't sacrifice. It's a natural result of his priorities shifting toward building a life together, rather than maintaining a separate single lifestyle. Instead, you'll often see him gravitating toward activities and social situations that work for both of them, or actively working to integrate their different social circles in ways that are comfortable for everyone involved. This shift often happens gradually and organically. He doesn't wake up one day and decide to change his social life. He simply finds that experiences he can share with her become more fulfilling than experiences that exclude her from important parts of his life. What's particularly significant about this sign is that it demonstrates genuine integration of their lives rather than compartmentalization. He's not trying to maintain a relationship with her while also maintaining a completely separate social identity. He's allowing his love for her to influence and improve his overall approach to social connections and life experiences. Number 7. He talks about her with deep respect and admiration to OTRs. The final sign is, perhaps, the most revealing of all, the way he speaks about her when she's not around. When a man is deeply in love with an older woman, the language he uses to describe her and their relationship reveals the depth of his feelings and commitment. Listen carefully to how he talks about her to friends, family, and colleagues. Who's genuinely in love doesn't just mention her. He speaks about her with a specific kind of reverence and admiration that goes beyond typical relationship discussion. He'll talk about what he's learned from her, how she's influenced his perspective on various topics, and the qualities he admires most about her. Importantly, these conversations focus on her character, her wisdom, her approach to life's substantial qualities, rather than superficial attributes. You'll also notice that he doesn't feel the need to justify or explain their relationship to others. He doesn't spend time addressing the age difference or defending their compatibility. Instead, he speaks about her and their relationship with the same confidence and naturalness that he would use to discuss any other important aspect of his life. This is significant because it shows that internally, he's completely resolved any concerns or doubts about their relationship. When someone is truly confident in their choice, they don't feel compelled to over-explain or justify it to others. The respect in his language is particularly telling. He might describe her as incredible, wise, amazing, but the specific examples he gives will focus on her depth, her experience, her perspective, all the qualities that come with maturity and life experience. Deeper, male sizes. Now that we've explored these 7 signs, it's important to understand the deeper psychology behind why these behaviors emerge, specifically when a man falls deeply in love with an older woman. The key factor is that these relationships require a different kind of emotional investment. From the beginning, a man can't maintain a meaningful connection with an older woman through the typical dating strategies that might work with women his own age. The games, the uncertainty, the casual approach, none of that works. When you're dealing with someone who has enough life experience to see through superficial behavior immediately, This creates a unique dynamic where genuine feelings and serious intentions become necessary for the relationship to exist at all. It's a natural filtering mechanism that eliminates casual interest and requires real emotional investment from the start. When a man realizes he's found something special with an older woman, his behavior shifts because the stakes are different. He's not just trying to impress someone or have fun, he's trying to build something meaningful with someone who has the experience to know what meaningful actually looks like. This is why the signs we've discussed are so reliable. They're not strategic behaviors designed to achieve a specific outcome. They're natural responses to being in a relationship that requires and rewards genuine emotional maturity and commitment. Addressing common concern, some viewers might be wondering about the sustainability of these relationships or whether these behaviors persist over time. It's a fair question, and the answer lies in understanding what creates lasting relationships in general. Any relationship that's built on genuine compatibility, mutual respect, and shared values has the potential to last. The age difference becomes less significant over time when the foundation is solid. The behaviors we've discussed aren't temporary adaptations. They're indicators of someone who's developed genuine appreciation for qualities that don't diminish with time. The men who exhibit these signs aren't going through a phase or rebelling against societal expectations. They've encountered someone who brings out the best in them and makes them want to become better partners and people. For older women watching this, these signs can help you distinguish between genuine interest and temporary fascination. The depth and consistency of these behaviors over time will tell you everything you need to know about his true intentions. Understanding these 7 signs gives us insight into something beautiful about human connection when we find the right person. Age becomes just a number, and love motivates us to become the best version of ourselves. Whether you're an older woman trying to understand if his feelings are genuine, or you're simply interested in the psychology of relationships that transcend social conventions, these indicators reveal the truth about authentic connection and commitment. Remember, genuine love isn't about meeting societal expectations or fitting into conventional patterns. It's about finding someone who brings out your best qualities, makes you want to build something meaningful together. The men who exhibit these behaviors have discovered something that many people spend their entire lives searching for: a partner who challenges them to grow, supports them unconditionally, and creates a relationship dynamic that's based on genuine compatibility rather than superficial factors. If you're in a relationship with an age difference, these signs can help you evaluate the strength and authenticity of your connection. If you're considering such a relationship, understanding these dynamics can help you recognize genuine interest versus casual curiosity. What do you think about these signs? Have you experienced or witnessed these behaviors in age gap relationships? I'd love to hear your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. If this video helped you understand the psychology behind these unique relationships, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing to our channel for more insights into relationship psychology, human behavior, and the science of attraction. Don't forget to hit the notification bell so you never miss our latest content on love, relationships, and the fascinating world of human connection. And if you found this topic interesting, you might also enjoy our video on the psychology of attraction, why some people fall for older partners. I'll link that in the description below. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next video where we'll explore more fascinating aspects of human relationships and the psychology that drives our deepest connections. Remember, love doesn't follow a schedule, and the best relationships are built on genuine compatibility, mutual respect, and the willingness to grow together, regardless of age. Until next time, keep exploring the amazing world of human connection.